Good morning, world. This is Edward Bevelak on location. Not quite. Here in Las Vegas, getting ready for a road trip up to one of the institutions in Nevada for a site visit for a classroom to start in early January. So, yes, this is in the car. However, I think you'll notice the background is not going to be moving, so that means the car's not moving, which means it's not any kind of traffic violation issue. So I'm waiting for some people to show up here in a parking lot, and then we will head to CCDC and remove our equipment so we can put it into better locations. Okay, today's topic for our students, and I want to acknowledge the students in Las Vegas WellCare class are doing a great job. They finished 3 days, tremendous progress from the first 2 days to yesterday. I understand from Latasha and Reno that the students there, you're all doing a great job as well. So congratulations. And hopefully by now you get that it takes hard work, that sometimes there's just no shortcuts. And I think more than that, it's important to not have an attitude of always finding the shortcut. So let's see, back in the 90s when I was doing some work with IBM Global Services, the one thing I learned from IBM was the first thing you do is you get the product to work and then you monetize it, then you make it so that you figure out how to reduce costs and make it as efficient as possible. But the first thing you got to do is make it work. And the same thing applies for us on a personal level is do it right, learn to do something right, and then figure out how to be more efficient, more productive at doing it. Don't cut corners. In selling, one of the principles of being a successful salesperson is to get that there could be 10 things that you need to do to sell a product. And everybody starts out doing the 10, and then very quickly what salespeople do, new salespeople do, is they say, well, I can, cut back a little bit over here, shave this corner off, do this, do that. And pretty soon sales start going down. You don't understand why, start thinking it's the customer. But really, if there's 10 things you need to do to have a successful sale, you need to do those 10 things. You can't do 9 of them. And if you have an outlook of, I'm always going to try to figure out a way to make this easier, do less work, that's not a good strategy. That's only good once you've mastered how to do it, once you're good at doing it, proficient at doing it, and you never want to stop doing the things that are the most important things to do. Jordan Peterson has a few videos out there. I think it's 1 or 2 lectures that many people have chopped up and turned into short videos about the nature of really successful executives. And his description starts off with, these guys work hard. They will work 70, 80 hours a week. He has another description where he says that if they were out in a forest with an axe, they just go around chopping down trees. That's just what they do. They're hyper productive people, and that's what they do. And he doesn't defend them. Well, he does defend them. He doesn't advocate it as a way of life. He says, the question isn't why aren't there more women doing it? The question is, why are there men that are willing to work this hard? But he breaks it down into a couple things. One is you have to be really smart to be successful, a very successful executive. You have to be smart, and you have to be willing to work hard. And so I think the important message for our people, for our students, if you want to be successful at work, you have to be prepared to work harder and smarter than everyone else, which reminds me of a statement that is attributed to Jeff Bezos in the early days of Amazon. When he was involved in hiring, he said, for good companies, or what's a good employee? Well, a good employee could be somebody who works harder, who works smarter, or who works longer. And Jeff Bezos purportedly would say something to the effect of, other good companies hire people and they say you have to do two of those. In other words, you have to work harder and smarter, harder and longer, or smarter and longer. And he said, however, if you want to work at Amazon, you can't just do two of those things. You have to work harder, longer, and smarter than everyone else. That's how we're going to be successful. So that's an attitude. If you adopt that, you're going to be doing things that other people won't do. And that's kind of goes back to remind us of the story about the two guys out there camping. And one of them sees a bear coming. He says, hey, there's a bear coming. Let's get out of here. And the other guy starts taking off his hiking boots or his boots, his camping boots, his boots, and putting on his running shoes. And the other guy says, hey, well, why are you doing that? You can't outrun the bear. He said, I don't need to outrun the bear. I just need to outrun you. And that's the attitude we should have. We just have to be better than the people that we're competing with for jobs, or when we're at a job, we just have to be our best self and work harder than other people. And of course, you should be working smarter, should always be working smarter. And harder to me includes longer. You just have to be willing to do it. Some people, well, I would say my experience with our students is most of our students think that working hard is something you only do as a last resort and for the least amount of time. And I think that could be true when you're working in a position that you don't really like, because it becomes drudgery. However, if you're doing something that you love doing, that you're passionate about doing, you don't even notice the time pass. So the writer of the book Flow, or maybe it's Creativity, funny name, Mahali Mahali, something like that. There's a TED Talk we watch on him, points out that when you're in a state of flow, which is most of your neural activity is focused on a particular thing, when you're in that state of flow, you don't notice the passage of time. And one example he gives is somebody who's a composer, composes music. When you're in a state of flow, that in this one composer in particular, talking about observing his arm writing notes, observing himself writing notes to music and not being consciously aware of doing it, but just in such a deep state of immersion into that activity, using as many as 110 bits of information per second on focused on that thing. So the message for today is be prepared to work hard. Adopt the Navy SEALs. Let's see, what would that be? Well, the Navy SEALs have a sign that says, yesterday was the only easy day. If you adopt that outlook towards life, constantly, every day, doing the best you can, you're going to improve. And to do the best you can, you have to be willing to work hard. And if we attach that or apply that to Jordan Peterson's, but his thing of, to determine what is the highest goal you could accomplish, what's the highest thing you could achieve in 3 years, and set your aim on that, because what is better to do than to go after the highest thing you can achieve in 3 years or 2 years? What's the highest thing you could achieve? Go after that. And he said, what will happen is that will pull you towards itself, and you will see that, and you won't see other things. They'll actually disappear. So if you find something you're passionate about, something you like doing, work that you like doing, other people will observe that you're working hard, but for you, you're just enjoying what you do. And if you don't find that you're doing that, then you should think about doing something different. So that's the message for today. I will be at my place at about 8, maybe a little bit later than 8. And good luck. Work hard when you're in class. The thing is, you have to remember the stuff you're learning. Our brain is designed to forget, so you have to review it.